So we're 13 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. Natasha Wright runs a business. She's an HR and leadership consultant. She runs the business Mind Food with her slogan, Purpose, Leadership, Destiny. Her destiny, however, was not determined by the tragedy she experienced as a young teenager. And we'll want to share a little bit more about that as we celebrate her success thus far. Natasha Wright, good morning to you.
Good morning, Barbados. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for agreeing to be with us this morning. Your story, though, is one that for a lot of people, at the beginning of your story really is one that for a lot of people, they would say, you know what, I'm done. I give up. This is just not right. Life just feels unfair. But that was not your point of view.
Definitely not. It wasn't. There was always something in me pushing me to continue.
And I'm saying that because you lost both parents quite young, then your grandmother again quite young. It was just yourself and your brother. And with all of that, feeling as a teenager as if all of your support system had suddenly left you. How did you navigate your mind space to say, you know what, I'm going to continue. In spite of it all, I shall continue?
That's an excellent question, and I love expounding on it for our young people and others out there who are experiencing some really harsh circumstances, because life can sometimes be a pain, right? I always believe that although things may not look so bright, there must be that light at the end of the tunnel somewhere. And that life is not a happenstance. It's not just, anything that just happens. It's not coincidence. And so I was just determined that I was going to be in pursuit of what my purpose is, which really is to share, my story and to encourage others. It took a lot of work. And yes, there were persons in the background who had to encourage me because I saw some very dark days. But there were persons who pushed me to continue. But more so, I had to find the mental fortitude to decide that, listen, I'm not going to give up on life. Life is not always going to look the same. My current circumstance is not where my destiny is. And so I had to do some self-talk and actually just walk by faith and continue to pursue education, pursue happiness and all of that.
We hear a lot of catchphrases a lot in our lives growing up, and we live by those oftentimes. But when circumstances hit us, those catchphrases just feel like words, because there's something that's deeper inside that we need to pull on. Were you at that stage in your life as a young teenage girl? Did you have examples of people who pursued in spite of? And if so, who were those examples that caused you, Natasha, to be able to say, I'm stronger, I'm better than this?
Most definitely. I want to share one particular incident. I remember after my mother died, she died like 2 days before I had CXC exams. So she died a Saturday night, and a Monday morning I had to go and start my 8 CXC exams. And I was thinking to myself that, listen, I'm going to fail everything because I couldn't study. We were all mourning, and it was a sudden death. And many of my relatives were saying, listen, don't do it. You can wait another time. And I pushed. And let me tell you why I pushed. I remember those stories my mother shared with me of her persevering through her challenges. So we don't necessarily have to look for persons who are out there in the, in the public spaces to inspire us. Sometimes our own relatives have gone through things and they have shared their story, and it shows you that you can pull on your own inner strength as well. And there were persons that I would listen to in terms of, on sermons. For example, Joyce Meyer is one of them. Every time I hear about what she went through, it's an inspiration to me that I can move on. And not just that, your very own Prime Minister is a big inspiration to me at this present moment. Go ahead.
Yours is one that tells a story of tragedy to triumph, because all along the way you persevered, you've done well in your examinations, you've done well through education, and you've met a good man who's been able to work alongside you to be able to, she laughs, to be able to position yourself as an HR and leadership consultant. Let's talk about that. Did it surprise you when you stopped to reflect on your journey that you are where you are, given what you've been through?
It is a shocker every single day. People ask me every now and then, did you always see yourself here? Absolutely not. I remember living in poverty, having to see gang violence, seeing people dying all the time, thinking that that was my reality. When I started believing that there was more for me, yes, I knew I was going to become successful, but I didn't know I was going to end up with titles and have a wonderful marriage. My husband is a big inspiration and a motivator for me. I never imagined all of this person, and I'm so grateful. I take nothing for granted, but I knew that if I continued, if I persevered, if I did not quit, that I would end up at a good place. And I know I have much further to go.
And now you're on the path towards creating the opportunity for so many more. You've already now expanded your workforce. And when you stop to think for a moment, oh my goodness, Natasha, I am the owner, I'm responsible for over 100 people who are in my employ. And I'm running a successful business that empowers people to make the best of themselves. How do you sleep at night? Is that one of those things that press on you so heavily that you think, I can't fail, I just can't fail?
It is so burdensome, Pearson. It's something that you're excited about and you're happy to provide people with the opportunity. But when it comes to payroll, you are so stressed. But let me tell you, it gives me such a huge drive. My husband and I, the drive is different because now we know it's not just about our family anymore. We have 100 other families that need to feed their people. Food needs to be on their table. And let me tell you, life takes on a whole different meaning. You're no longer living for yourself, but there are people out there in society who is depending on your success, and that is the responsibility is overwhelming, but it definitely kicks you in high gear in terms of where your focuses are, your priorities. Because I no longer have time to be watching what people say or who doesn't like me anymore. Now it's all about, listen, how can I make my country better and the world at large, because there are persons out there who are affected by what we do.
Can you see our screen? Can you see that comment there coming in from one of our social media contributors, Yulene Alexander? She says, I love what I'm hearing. So good listening to her. Very uplifting. And to know that you have been, and this is a Barbadian right here. Another one, Vidaline Green, said, great inspiration. God gave you that strength. They are responding to you. And here it is. This is what you do for a living. You provide opportunities and inspiration to others to be leaders in their respective spaces as well. Talk to us about the success of the business as well right now, Mind Food, and the opportunities that you've provided people and how you've been able to use that to leverage yourself internationally.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Barbados, for showing me love. This means so much. Pearson, when Mind Food started, we started by sending out morning inspiration to, some persons we had emails for. And when we started, we got overwhelming success. Responses. People are saying, listen, my day has just been made because you encouraged me. Then it moved from that into seminars, workshops. Then it moved from that to books, because we're currently published author 3 times, international speakers. Then corporates started inviting us into their offices to say, hey, come and do a session.
Wow.
And soon after, we moved into leadership as our core, because we were exposed to the various issues that corporate is currently having with leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Through our United Nations appointment and training, we have also been able to leverage that at a very high level to coach executives from various entities and to train their staff on different levels. It's just been amazing. And to be able to add value to a corporation that is struggling, because sometimes you have the structure, you have the vision, but you just don't know how to get the people on board. And we love doing that.
Taking challenges by hand and just making a difference. So when you look across the Caribbean landscape, let's start with our own little space, and more comments are coming in. Natasha, right, good morning. You're an inspiration to all of us. Thank you for your words of inspiration. Amen. God blessings to you. And you look across the region, you look at leadership within the region at all levels. What's your view, before we even look outside of the Caribbean? What's your view?
It's a touchy topic, but I have to go
Say it.
there. I believe that we need more leaders like your leader, and of course mine as well. We can mention great qualities about all of them, but we need more of our leaders to actually look at us and look at us getting to that point where we can be referred to as first world nations. Because the truth is, our quality, the way we stand out as a people, our culture, our food is first world. I'm so over it, the third world, first world
Yes,
concept, all of this, because we bring so much value. When a Caribbean person steps into the room, everybody knows. And
exactly.
I believe that we can portray that in business, in every single industry. And so we need to look at how can we really get our people's mindset there, so we can stop saying, oh, nothing is happening in our country, we need to leave. Or, oh, there's no opportunity here, we have to go find it elsewhere. And but I have to commend those who are actually trying, because let us also be honest, on this national platform, Caribbean people are not the easiest people to deal with. and so and so, in consultation with many government officials, which we actually get the opportunity to do, they work hard, and a lot of them have the best interest of the people at heart. However, the buying is not there for various reasons, for corruption, thoughts, or practices in the past, so on and so forth. But our leadership will eventually get there, and I see it happening already. I think our prime ministers, for one, are great examples of how they have pulled themselves up and put us out there on the map some more, to say, hey, this is what is happening in our country. These are the people that represent us, and they are world class. And I love that. And we need more of that positive, what do you call it? Positive promotion happening for the Caribbean. But our leaders will they have their work
Yes.
cut out for them.
You know, you're world class too, and that's why we had to have you here as well as one of our world class leaders in HR and leadership, to be able to share with us a little bit from your point of view that from tragedy can come triumph. From any circumstance, we can create something absolutely beautiful and life-changing, and that is exactly what you've done. You know, listening to you, I am myself now inspired to do even more, to feel and to as though we can compete with the very best in the world. And oftentimes I'd say to my colleagues here as well, let's not dumb down what we do because we think that we're just from the little Caribbean. No, we are producers of content as well as anybody else, anywhere else in the world. We have people who speak beautifully as well, who are intelligent, who are competent enough to be able to do so. So let's not look at ourselves through somebody else's lenses. Let's create our own little glass to look through as well and tell them, look at us. Don't start me up to the Natasha. Don't start me
I
at
know.
all. But, you know, for someone watching today who are thinking, you know, I need the inspiration that Natasha has. I need to be able to talk to her. I need to be able to share or hear from her. How can we contact Mind Food so that we can benefit from all that you offer?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we are on Instagram. You can find me at Natasha Wright. It's NATASSIAWRIGHT. Mind Food is also on Instagram at MINDFOOD_01. You can go on Mind Food's website, www.mindfoodinternational.com. You can also find us on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube. If you really need to get in touch with me in terms of a speaking engagement or corporate training, the number is 876-781-8614.
All right, I've written it down. Area code 876-781-8614. And that's where you'll find Natasha Wright, who is the HR and leadership consultant, a UN ambassador as well, and she is with Mind Food International. Natasha, thank you for joining with us this morning. Your story is inspiring. You are inspiring. You are on a trajectory that we love. We want to support you behind all of that as well, and that's what we want Caribbean people to do. Look at each other's success as a reason that we need to get behind them and to ourselves find our spaces in success too. Thank you so much. All the best to you.
Thank you for having me. And big up to Mr. Wright over there watching me somewhere.
Big up to him indeed. Thank you, Natasha. All the best.
Of course. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Morning Barbados takes the break right here. When we come back, we'll have the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.